What is shaking? Golden Mike 157. If you're going to tune out now because I'm being loud, I want you to hear this. Your story is not your own. I repeat, your story is not your own, which is really remarkable because the person that we have on today is known as America's ambassador on success, rule breaker, fun maker, also like songwriter, board certified lawyer. I mean, you name it and he does it. Residing in Dallas, Texas. I was about to speak with him in a couple weeks, but he nudged me off the stage. Steve Gallegos, how are you today, brother?
I am awesome, Mark. Thank you so much. I didn't know, you didn't tell me that we have to prepare one of those Samoan chants and yells in order to start our talk, so I want to do one too. It's so great to be here with you, Mark.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Like the hearts are rolling in already for Steve. I love it. Y'all stick around because Steve's got some amazing things. But more importantly, I intend to have an amazing conversation because I've been looking forward to talking to you for a while. Now, Steve, you may not know that I am the Philippines ambassador on success. So like it's actually an ambassadors meeting that's going on right now. So
exactly. We got our own United Nations going.
We got a UN thing going on right now. So for those of you who haven't met me, before going into Steve's story, my name is Marc Cordon, founder of the Make Money Coaching Program, Chief Disruptive Officer of the Joy Revolution. But more importantly, on a regular basis, I've got the easiest job in the world. I get to ask folks like Steve, my family, myself, 2 questions. This is how to become a positive psychology coach. It's super easy, y'all. Question number 1 is this: how happy are you today? And then question number 2 is this: how much meaning and purpose are you living in today? Now, Steve, I know you know that's a double-barreled question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. How happy are you today, and how much are you living in your meaning and purpose?
I am as happy as I want to be. Okay?
Choice.
I am as happy as I want to be. Because, happiness means different things to different people. What makes you happy may not make me happy. And so, we can't say, I'm at 100% because what does that really mean, right? So I say I'm as happy as I want to be because there's sometimes that I don't want to be happy. I want to be sad or whatever I want to get pissed off about something every once in a while. And that's okay too. But even that can make you happy.
Yeah,
and then
like when you pushed me off that stage over there in Dallas, and now I can't speak.
I said, there's only room for one superstar ambassador on here, one world ambassador, and Mark, you'll have to wait your turn.
It was awesome. It was like the battle royale of ambassadors. I must say, it was great TV. That's a great answer. And what about with meaning and purpose? Do you have the same thing with choice?
On that one, I am 100% because everything I do now, it wasn't like this a couple of years ago, but everything I do now is corralled around, if it's not giving me meaning, if I'm not finding my purpose in it, then I'm not doing it. I don't care how fun it is. And this is why, I largely now stay away from parties and those kinds of things that really, look good in Instagram, but, they don't fill you up inside and hanging around with the wrong crowds and those kind of things just to be seen. I was an entertainment attorney in Los Angeles, and so I know, I've been to the Grammys and the red carpet, every single award show that you can imagine. And that was one of the lessons it had for me, Mark, is that I went to become a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer in LA, because I was also pursuing a career as an international singer-songwriter. I was going to be the next Julio Iglesias, the modern day Julio Iglesias. That was me. Okay.
To all
and I know
the
you know
girls
him.
I've loved before.
Exactly. And you know him because he's crazy in the Philippines. The Philippines
He's
go crazy
in the Philippines, dog.
Yeah. And so, but what I found was that there was there's a lack of authenticity and genuineness in that whole environment. That really, after a while, after I got past all the kid in the candy store kind of phenomenon, I started to see that I didn't really have healthy relationships. I didn't like where my career was going. I was used, and I used people too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the name of the game. And so I walked away from that whole entertainment industry because I was pursuing it for the wrong reasons.
Sure.
And so now you ask, am I happy? Yes, I'm absolutely 100% happy as I choose to be, as I want to be doing the things that I want to do.
You were. It was almost like you were a slave to it over there in Los Angeles, a slave to
Well,
something else.
we're a slave to, excuse me, what we think we want, number one, right? I thought I wanted that international stage, and I thought I wanted the fame and fortune. And once I got a glimpse of it, and once I got a taste of it, I realized it was like Dorothy arriving in the land of Oz, pulling back the curtain and saying, all this is this greasy old man with gray, goofy hair, and he's pulling levers and making noise. That's what the entertainment industry is. And
Stop
so,
making fun of me.
but really, Mark, I had to come to terms. I mean, serious terms. We're talking about depression level terms of, oh my gosh, my dream has just been shattered. I don't want any of this, but why do I still want that? Why am I shooting for that star, right? That international stage of fame and fortune. And it took me a deep dive to learn that what I wanted was not the stage at all, but what I thought the stage could give me, which was love, admiration, and respect from the audience, because I didn't have that to give myself. I didn't know it, right? I thought I grew up in an environment where I thought love was something that you got from someone else by doing things like
Mm,
singing,
mm.
right? And
Yep.
so this is a lesson that I hope all of Hollywood hears, because I know there's a lot of people there struggling and they want to slit their throats because they're not on stage, because they're not on film, because they're not getting the scripts, because agents aren't calling them anymore. They're not getting readings and those kinds of things. I want everybody to just really examine why you're pursuing what you're pursuing, because if it's for the wrong reasons, that's why it's not happening.
Now, what was the point in your story in which, because that is a major mindset set shift, right? To be like, wow, I just realized through a deep dive that this was really about love, receiving love, right?
Correct.
And here I am trying to will it on stage to try to
Right.
receive it. What
Right.
was the turning point, or was it a mentor, or was it hitting a rock bottom? Was it a certain thing that someone said? Were you walking by a billboard and the billboard said something, and you're like, oh my gosh, I've been looking at it the wrong way? Can you remember a specific time or a point where that shifted, and what you were thinking and what you were going through?
January 2008. I attended a success seminar in Las Vegas by David Nagel, who I don't know whatever happened to him, but at the time he was producing and promoting a product called The Art of Success.
Hmm.
And so, anyway, I attended this conference. I didn't have any money, I was out of money. I had my self esteem was at rock bottom. I had been building an internet startup with some other friends, which was failing miserably. We were struggling. This was like my last resort to find some sort of hope somewhere. I didn't even like David Nagel that much, but something just said you got to go to this event. You got to go to this event. We got to the event the day that it had already started. I take a seat in the back of the room at the Hilton Hotel in Las Vegas, and then suddenly, he starts talking and blah blah blah. And at one point during that day, he put up Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and he says everyone in the world, everyone on the planet since time eternal has been searching for love, security, blah blah blah, all those things. And then he asked us a question, Mark. He said, well, he made a statement first. He says, if you don't have these things, and here's the question, how can you give them away? And we pondered on that for a moment, and then he repeated again and says, let me ask you again, if you don't have love already, how can you give it away? And it was like a spark where I just got shot in the ass with like, holy crap, Mark. I stood up in a room full of 250 people and I said, are you effing kidding me? Are you telling me all my life I've been chasing love and success and security and respect, all those things that are on that board, but you're telling me that if I don't have it first, there's no way that I can get it from someone else. And if I don't have it, I can't give it away. So in other words, it first has to come from within. And he said, that's absolutely right. And so the question goes back to you and your listeners. He said, if someone needs $100,000, someone needs $50, but you don't have that in your pocket, how can you give it away?
Give it away. Yeah.
Right? If you don't have love, how can you love someone else? And this is why relationships fall, because we're always in search of, oh, I need someone to love me. I need someone to accept me, to understand me, to believe in me, to do. I need.
Yep.
Need is the biggest killer of relationships. Need is the biggest killer, the number one killer. It's the enemy of relationships. Because when we go into a relationship needing something, whether it's a business relationship or romantic relationship, it doesn't matter. If I need something from you, Mark, the day that you don't show up to give it to me, the day that you forget, the day that you're too, I don't know, whatever, passed out on happiness, that you forget all about Stevie G or whoever, all of a sudden I'm feeling like Mark doesn't love me anymore. What happened? What happened to us? Where did I go wrong? What did I do? Right? And we start this victimization of the relationship, and all of a sudden I'm critical of you and everything you do.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. What's interesting is that you sort of take this idea of love and you turn it into a utilitarian exchange, right?
Right.
Take.
Right.
The person has no ability to give it to you anymore because of something, and suddenly you're the victim. The
Correct.
universe is against you.
Exactly. Self-fulfilling prophecy. No one loves me. I'm not worthy of love. I'm always getting into bad relationships. I'm always being abused. I'm always being whatever, assaulted, and those kinds of things. And it also, I learned that there. So in an instant, I was able to just let go of all of those desires for the stage. And now I still love to sing and perform, but not to get love or admiration, but for me to give it, expressing it through my music. And it's the most beautiful thing ever. And I get quite a different reaction from crowds now in audiences when I do perform.
What is the difference between your original mindset and your current mindset? But it's still, technically speaking, it's still you on stage, either speaking or performing. But what's the difference now?
Before, I was looking to get.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm looking to give.
Yeah, and what is
right?
what is that difference in feeling now?
The difference in feeling is a complete ability to express yourself regardless of how goofy you think might look. Because when we're looking to get, we're always conscious of, am I doing this right? Oh, did I smile big enough? How was that move? How was that dance? Oh, did I do this? Do I look great in my dress? Does my suit look? We're internally focused, and so every little thing, we're internally focused. So it doesn't matter how well I can sing, right, or perform, because I'm too internally focused. So I'm not able to give my all, right? You look at someone like Andrea Bocelli, who has no visual ability, but he does. He sees everything, right, through his feelings. Now, he can stand up there and sing and perform, and he doesn't worry about whether people think he looks stupid or why is he not moving? Why is he just standing there? And, why has he got his eyes closed all the time? How goofy is that looking? People, no, he just delivers from his heart because he's there to give, not to get. Whereas you see other performers, you see these entertainers all the time. Anybody that watches America's Got Talent or American Idol or The Voice, all these things, you can instantly see the artist on the stage that is looking to get as opposed to the ones that are looking to give. The ones that are looking to give get the golden buzzer.
Right? I think that's a nice metaphor for life in general as well, right? Putting service first rather than thinking about all the things that you're not going to get, or putting a certain expectation that, I'll be able to give back when I get this first, right? It's all conditionality, right? It's all conditioned. Correct. And then that has you playing small. By the way, did Nagel draw that big head with the little subconscious line that year?
Yes, he did.
I love it.
David Nagel.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Now let's get into this idea of the fact that you are not your story, because many times, big parts of my show are people telling their stories, right? And so what does it mean when we have a show that's dedicated to you not being your story? Talk to me, Goose.
The difference is that we all have a story to tell, but that is not who we are. In
Right
other
on.
words, a lot of people build their identity around their story, and this is how I relate to that. Um, I almost did not make it to this show, Mark,
Mhm.
because I attempted suicide. I tried to commit suicide, and had I done that, you and I wouldn't be having this conversation.
Hmm.
Okay? I wanted to kill myself. When I was 17 years old, I would go home from school and put plastic bags over my head and set a timer to see how long it would take me to asphyxiate. And then I would remove the bag just before I felt that I was going to lose it, because it was like practice, but I was still chicken shit. I wasn't able to do it, right? But the truth is that something was telling me, don't do it. This is not your path. And so I didn't do it. But I still was in that mindset that I was worthless, good for nothing, and all of that came from the way my parents raised me. They told me I was worthless, good for nothing. Okay? So the more worthless and good for nothing that you are told you are, the more worthless and good for nothing you become. You start doing good for nothing things. Or I'm good for nothing, let me continue to prove that I'm good for nothing. So in school, all of that stuff, I was good for nothing. The only thing that I could do was sing. And so all of my school activities, whether it was sports and English and math and all those stuff, I sucked, right? I sucked. I didn't exist. But when I opened my mouth to sing, the whole world stopped and listened and they applauded. So I was like a Pavlov dog. Boom. Open your mouth and
Your
sing.
performance monkey. Put in the
Exactly.
quarter.
Put in the quarter. People love you and they applaud and woohoo, we want more. But when I turned in a math assignment or a reading assignment or something else, I was like, why do you even exist? Why are you alive, kind of thing. It was truly, truly, truly night and day. So I did decide to take my own life, but in a different sense. I took it away from the adults and the parental influence that I was under at the time, and I joined the United States Marine Corps. Okay. In that 13-week period of boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina, I learned that everything that I had been taught about myself up to the age that I was 17 was completely wrong, and they were absolute lies, because in those 13 weeks, I transformed from a good for nothing into a individual that was pretty good at a whole lot of things in 13 weeks, right? Because these guys, the Marine Corps, they break you down. But I mean, with me, I was so broken already. They just had to go, and I fell over, right? Yeah. Whereas a lot of guys, they got to go in and break down a lot of attitude and those kinds of things, and misconceptions and beliefs and those kinds. I was already, take me, do with me what you want. However, during that experience, that 13-week experience, there were 3 other individuals in my platoon who were primarily Spanish speaking. They spoke a little bit of English. They were from New York and one was from Florida. 2 from New York, 1 from Florida. And they were struggling with the academic portion of the Marine Corps basic training. A lot of people don't know that academics is really, really high on the requirements of making it through boot camp. They think it's just all shooting and beating people up and learning how to kill. Yeah, we know how to do all that stuff, but that's just a small, small part of it. It's academic. So these guys were struggling. And nobody asked me to do this, but I said to them, look, let me help you guys. And so what we did is we would go into the showers at night when everybody else was asleep. We would take out our little books, and I would recite, and we would talk about that day's lessons in Spanish. I would translate it to them, and then we would have a discussion about it, and they would talk to me in English about it, so I knew that they understood it. This went on for a couple of weeks, when one night, it was like 3 a.m, one of the drill instructors comes barging in because, he hears noises in the showers, and he thinks Marines will be Marines, and they're in there doing, stupid stuff, right? Yep. Unimaginable stuff. So he comes in yelling, cussing, thinking he's going to find some horrendous scene. But he sees us sitting down, but we were like scared out of our wits. And he says, what are you doing? And so I stood up and, sir, and, I'm doing this and this. And he looks around and he says, all right, carry on. At the end of the 13 weeks, Mark, I was selected as the platoon honor man, which is the equivalent of the valedictorian. Not because I was the strongest, the fastest, the tallest, that I could shoot the best. I was good at all those things, but it was because I had taken it upon myself to help 3 other guys make it through boot camp. And as a result of that experience, the 4 of us scored the highest grades in the final test, we got the highest scores in the class. And that
Oh,
was
look
like
at that.
super awesome.
The little Dead Poets Society in the
Ex-
shower. That got
exactly.
the top
Exactly.
four.
And so that was my first real lesson that, wow, if I can help other people achieve what they want, I will get what I want. I didn't ask to be the honor man. They didn't say, who wants to be the honor man? Here's how you qualify. No, they didn't talk to us anything about that.
Now,
But because
did you ever think that you would be selected as the honor man?
never did. I didn't have a shot. I
So
thought
what
the
was
honor man,
like when they called you said your name? Like what was that feeling for you at that time?
it was complete shock. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I was of course honored and privileged, but it was like a complete shock. I broke down in tears because again, I was still seeing myself as this little good for nothing guy, even though I had these little spurts of success in boot camp. And 13 weeks is not a long
Yeah, that's
period
not
of time, right?
a long time to
Not a
change
long
your
period of
mindset.
time.
Yeah.
But because it's so intensive and immersive, right? It's all just mindset stuff. It's really your mind against theirs. And if you can make it through that and comply with the requirements and perform and really give everything you've got, you will make it and succeed. But like I said, there were guys that were, they come out and they look like Adonis, right? And they look like Hulk because they're already 6'5" and 250 pounds full of rock solid. These were Marines, right? The John Wayne types that you go, that's a real man, right? You look at Clint Eastwood back,
Yep.
that's a man, right? You look at who is The Rock, that's a man, right? Jason, the Aquaman, that's a man. Exactly, right? That's like, that's my, my conception.
That's a big
of
boy.
that. Exactly. So for me to get that, it was like, what? And so it was really humbling. It was
Yeah.
more of a shock than anything else.
It does seem, in sort of connecting the dots after all these years, that not necessarily the moment that they called your name, but the moment that you chose to go and stay after, and read in Spanish, and really work on the academic success of these three individuals. That really seems like a moment that started to put you on a trajectory that now is on a even higher level. But it does seem like, oh wow, that's Stevie G coach starting to come out. Like that's what you always were, and you had to kind of unpeel the layers of what society had told you that you were and what you had chosen to buy into, right? And it was
Exactly.
almost that in that space of a boot camp, which doesn't feel like a safe space to a lot of people, but in that space, and now I see why you're a fucking rebel. Like you keep people up at night, but for the greater good, right? And so let's sort of talk about this for 1 second. I you can see that I tend to deviate, but I love this idea that you are America's sort of a success. What I keep forgetting it, America's
Ambassador of success.
ambassador of success, and I already see it when you were in the shower there, when you were teaching people in the shower, as the ambassador of success. Like, how would you define both success and failure? Because it seems like we are such a society of success and failures that like our identities become that success and failure are based on success and failure. So what
Correct.
does success mean to you?
Success to me is irrelevant.
So are you America's ambassador of irrelevance?
No, sir. No, sir. I'm ambassador on success because I know that success is nothing more than an outcome of a particular act. And whatever you do, and this is what I tell people, don't chase success. You are already successful. Okay? You either succeed at something or you don't. That's it. It's the outcome of an event. If I intend to walk across the street from left to right and I do it, I succeeded in walking across the street. If I intend to walk across the street from left to right and I get hit by a car and I don't make it to the other side, I failed to make it to the other side. It's an event. And the funny thing is, Mark, we look at ourselves as I'm successful, you're successful, won't you like to be successful too? Right? Or I'm a failure, you're a failure, won't you like to be a failure too? Right? as an identity, as a label, as a he's a success, she's not. Well, no, bullshit. That's Mark and that's Jane, right? And there are people who've tried things that didn't work out. That's all it is. So when we define success, and people started labeling me the ambassador of success well before I really studied this and came upon this analysis and definition to me of what success is. It's hard to say for anybody to say, well, this is what success means, because it's so fluid. It means different things to me as it does to you, and in 5 minutes it'll change.
Yeah.
Oh, I want a Lambo. I want a car. I want a beautiful wife. I want a beautiful husband. I want 10 children. I want 2 children. I want no children. All of these things in college, your idea of success is different than the day you graduate from college and the day you get your first job, right? So it's this constant thing. So how can we all say, yeah, let's all strive to be successful if there's no standard, right? We have standards for Olympic gold. We have standards for Olympic bronze and silver, right? There's standards. You know what you have to hit in order to achieve gold, silver, and bronze. Yeah. You don't know what you have to hit in order to be considered a success, right?
Completely.
Yeah. Success on the Philippine Islands is different than success in Ontario, Canada, or in Paris, France.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think I really love the way that you throw that. Now, as the ambassador of success for the Philippines, the way that I describe success and or failure is, it's just data. Everything is data, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you're conscious that it's data, it helps you when it's an opportunity for growth. When the data comes in, you can just sort of change your trajectory based on the data that's coming in. So I'm going to play devil's advocate, because I get this question all the time. So if success is irrelevant, why do we even set goals in the first place?
Success and goals are two different things. Now you're talking about two different things. We need goals because in order to measure what we're intending our accomplishments. In other words, if I want to navigate from Dallas, Texas to Miami, Florida, and I'm going to do so by car, I'm going to set a goal for myself. I can set a goal. I don't have to. But if I choose to, I can set a goal for myself to do it within, 7-day period. All right? So that's the goal, to get to Miami within 7 days. I'm cruising along, listening to Radio CD, Barry Manilow, whoever you're listening to on the radio, right?
I'm getting an idea. I'm getting an idea of the stations that you like, my friend. When we go on a road trip.
Yeah, just bring Barry Manilow. We're good.
I'm good. Yeah.
And so if I decide to stop at a roadside steakhouse diner, right, and I make friends with people, and they say, hey, Stevie G, come party with us, and we're going to go to the lake. And I say, you know what? I've got 7 days. Sure, I'm going to do it. And then we go there. I didn't know how far the lake was. It's on the other side of the planet. The boat breaks down on the way there. All we have is a case of beer to drink. So we drink a case of beer. We get all smashed. And the next thing you know, 2 days have gone by and I haven't gotten any further closer to Miami. Now I'm starting to stress, right? Because I've got a deadline to meet. I've got a goal for myself. And you can put this into any scenario. I'm just giving you this analogy, right? So people will come along the path and go, hey, Steve, come spend the night. Hey, come over here. Come work for me over here. Come do this assignment. Hey, can you just come help me with this? And hey, we're going to go do this thing. So if I'm not focused on, no, I said I was going to get to Miami in 7 days, and here it is 5 days later, and I'm not even out of Texas, okay, I've got a problem. All right?
Yeah.
So in this case, I can say it's looking like I'm not going to succeed with my reaching my goal. So you see how they're two different things. If I reach my goal, I can say I succeeded in reaching my goal. If I don't make it to Miami in 7 days, I say I failed at reaching my goal. I still got there, but I didn't do it within the time that I set for myself. So a goal is nothing more than an objective, right? Mm-hmm. And you set an intention to accomplish that objective within a certain period of time, whether it's losing weight, making money, getting married, having kids, moving out of the house, whatever it is. That's just an objective. So in relation to that objective, you're either going to succeed or you're going to fail.
I love it. And I love how you pull the emotion out of it, right? Because when people talk about goals and objectives, there is a lot of passion and emotion involved, but when they're not reached, there's so much self criticism and a lack of compassion for self that seems to start to creep up, right? But then when you keep it objective, you know, it's an event. It's an
Exactly.
event that
Didn't happen.
It didn't succeed.
I'm
It
here.
didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Yeah. Didn't happen. Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
absolutely love that, and I want to go. I want to go back to this story because I have a feeling that you have a lot of stories, broski.
I've got a
And so,
lot of
like
stuff.
that whole thing, and that event in the shower was not just like one of the events in your life, but it's one of many. But I also want to go to this idea that you are not your story, and so for those of folks who are watching right now, and I see you. For those of you watching right now, and for those of us watching, how do we identify our story and discover its impact on our life?
Okay. Your story is the things that happen to you along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. People, we're born into this world and we don't have quite a story yet. Either we get slapped in the butt or we get dropped on the floor. Now the story begins. Okay. Right? The way your parents treat you, the way your parents relate to you, the way your baby sister, your dog, or your parents, whatever, how relate to you, this is where the beginnings of your story start to develop. And so if we believe that we are the person of that story, for example, going back to my situation, I was told I was good for nothing, absolutely good for nothing was my full name. Not just good for nothing was my nickname. Absolutely good for nothing was my full name, right? So I believed that, Mark, until I was 17. And because I believed that's who I was, right, that story of a good for nothing kid, worthless, I was ready to take my life. But as a result of my experience in the Marine Corps, and as a result of my experiences afterwards, coming out of the Marine Corps, going into civilian law enforcement in Santa Barbara, California, right? I added on to my story. Now I was this good-for-nothing kid that became a celebrated Marine who now became a police officer, and I was a valedictorian of my police academy class too. I go, woohoo, okay? So these things keep growing. So from police officer, I said, I want to be an entertainment lawyer. So now I jump into law school, right? Not having the requisite bachelor's degree that is needed to go from college into law school. How did I do that?
Wait, you didn't have a bachelor's degree and you went to law school?
I still don't have a bachelor's degree and I went to law school. How? Rule
Talk
breaking.
about quantum leaps, bro.
Rule breaking, my brother, and you know this. This is why you love the rebel element of the world, because you make it happen, right? You make it happen. I went to the school registrar and says, I served as a U.S. Marine. I served as a civilian law enforcement officer here in this county. I'm still serving. And I do have an AA degree. I did have an AA degree from community college in Santa Barbara in criminal justice. So I said, what's required to get into law school? Well, we need a bachelor's degree, but it's mostly hinges on the LSAT. I said, what if I take the LSAT and I score well, given all of my other credentials and history in this area of law, I'm going to succeed in it. Will you let me into the school? She said, if you take the LSAT and you get good grade on it, yes, I'll let you into the school. Boom, I took the LSAT, got good grade. I don't remember the score, but it qualified me to law school. So now I'm in law school, right?
Yep.
Now I'm in law school. So I get out of law school and I decide, well, entertainment lawyers don't belong in Santa Barbara. We go to Los Angeles. So I moved to LA, eventually got a job with a firm, and I started practicing entertainment law and all this stuff. And so I'm doing all these things and it's just reaching higher levels. Each time, people are wondering, how did you do that? How did you do that? How did you do that? And so when I started examining all this, Mark, I realized that I wasn't that kid, that good-for-nothing kid, but I had the ability to change my mind and to change careers and to change paths, just like we change our shirts. Yep. It's really that simple.
And quantum growth at the same time.
Exactly. And so a lot of, when I was leaving the practice of law to come to Dallas to reinvent myself as a commercial photographer, right? Because I had decided to leave the entertainment and law altogether. It wasn't working. I didn't like it anymore after 16 years. I reinvented myself again. People were stuck. People in LA, lawyer friends of mine, well, damn, I want to do, this is all I know. It's all they're stuck in their story. And so what I train now after learning all this stuff is we can change the story. You are not the story. You are not the victim. The thing happened to you, yes. You got assaulted, you got beat up, you got abused, you got robbed, you got bankrupt, yes, those things happen, but that is not who you are. It's just you're the person that thing happened to.
Yeah.
Okay? That thing happened to you, but that's not who you are.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people think, I am the victim of this. And you see them on social media. Oh, I have a bad day because this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. And we feed them. We go, oh, poor Susie. I'm so sorry, Susie. Hope things get better. Susie is so in love with her story because she gets what I was looking for from the stage. Love, respect, admiration, recognition. I'm alive. People see me. And so I'm going to share more of my pain and sorrow and struggles and heartache because people will go, oh, Susie, we love you. I wish I could hug you and do all these things. Susie's getting love from that. So if Susie's getting what she needs from sharing that story, she's going to keep telling the story. All of a sudden, Susie's the one that has all these problems, or Mike is the one that has all these problems, or Bob, or George, or Maria. It doesn't matter who you are. But if you realize that you're the director, you're the writer of the story, right? That's not who I am. It happened to me, but this is how I want the movie to be. So it's just like watching TV or movie, Mark, and you come across a scene, you go, I don't like where this is going to go. You yell, cut! Everybody stops. All the action. Get me the script writer over here. Script supervisor, come here. And you take the script and you just X out Mark getting robbed, Mark getting failing in his business, Mark's house getting, trashed in a tornado. And you say, no, that's not how it's going to happen. Here's the way this story is going to go. Mark is going to get the girl, get the car, get the money, and all the houses he wants.
And the red hair. The red hair. Red hair too.
Exactly. Action. And now we take that. So you are the author, the writer, the director, and the producer because you're the one that's bringing all the elements together to make your new story happen.
Now, I'm going to play the voice of the devil's advocate right now. The devil's advocate right now. To try to reinforce this, right?
Mark's the devil's advocate.
I'm the devil. But someone is watching right now, and let's say that they're saying, Stevie G, easier said than done. I can empathize with where you're at and your upbringing, but you created a couple really great things for you and you rode that momentum. Like, I've never gotten it in my life. And so it's easy for you to rewrite the script. It's easy for Mark to rewrite the script. But for us have-nots, right? For us have-nots, we all don't have that privilege of doing what Stevie G just did. What do you say to that?
Say, stop telling yourself that bullshit story. That's part of your story. I can't. I don't have the ability. Let me tell you this, people. If one person in the history of the world has ever done what you would like to do, you can do it as well. And even if they can't, remember the 4-minute mile? Mm-hmm. Roger Bannister back in the 60s, right?
Yep.
He broke the 4-minute mile, and the minute he did it, a bunch of people started doing it too.
It was the norm after that.
Before that, it was thought impossible.
Yep.
Okay,
absolutely.
That's a perfect example, and so many other stories like that. So if you think I can't, I don't have the ability. Oh, you got this opportunity. You have opportunities too. You give me 90s. You give me half an hour to talk to you, and you share with me what's going on in your life. I will guarantee you, I will find a minimum of 10 to 20 things that you can do to up and elevate your life that you're not seeing.
Ooh.
We look at our lives like this. We look at it with blinders. Absolutely. And it's part of us being in that story. Boom. I'm good for nothing, therefore I only deserve good for nothing things, and that's who I am. I can't be Mark Cuban. And the other thing we need to do, Mark, and I'll give you the mic back in a second. The other thing we need to do in relation to that is gain clarity on really what it is we want. Because if someone says, look, I'm 5'2" and I'm an amputee, both of the legs are amputee, but my dream is to play in the NBA. Yeah, dude, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Okay, so don't think that just because some superstar or guru or coach or ambassador or somebody author you heard on TV says you can have anything you want, you can do anything you want. That's BS. You can't.
Mm.
You can have what you are capable of producing for yourself, and that's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So I say to you, if you're a 5'2" amputee that wants to play in the NBA, reframe, rethink your objective so that you're not playing the victim. I can't. What you want really is to be an athlete and play sports. What you want really is to be an athlete and play basketball. So there's wheelchair basketball. Okay, you can be the LeBron James equivalent of wheelchair basketball if you're in a wheelchair. Yep. Right? Or if you're just on the floor without a wheelchair, just using a pad. I've seen people do that. I've seen amputees play ice hockey, yep. Right? On these special sleds they got. Yep. So you can do whatever it is. And so I say to you, if you think you can't, really what you need to do is, number one, get rid of the story that you can't. And then number two, find a way to be in that element that you want to be in.
I love it. Now I want to ask you this on a personal level. That gremlin, that story that you had as a young Stevie G, an up and coming Stevie G, right? Has that voice ever creeped back into your head, or once it was gone, was it gone?
No, he comes back.
Okay,
he comes back.
Now,
he
what
comes
do you
back on
what do you do when he comes back?
I talk to him.
Okay.
I talk to the voice because what that voice is looking for, that inner pain, it's an emotion. It's what it is. It's a stuck emotion that for whatever reason, the experience that will allow me to break through that emotion hasn't arrived yet, right? Either because I keep myself safe, and this is like people who become victims of, for example, sexual abuse, yep. Right? We keep ourselves safe, and so we go into this mode of not wanting to make ourselves attractive, not putting on makeup or not putting on nice clothes, not bathing, letting our hair and beard grow and those kinds of things, not making ourselves attractive to the opposite sex because we don't want the rejection or we don't want to expose ourselves to the possibility that we're going to get hurt again.
Yep.
Okay? And so we move into that, and I forgot the point that I was going to make. What was the... This happens on live TV.
When
that voice comes back. You say, yeah. So what that is a stuck emotion, and what that emotion wants, Mark, is nothing more to be recognized. Hey, I'm here. And so if you recognize it and go, Stevie G, that attitude that you have, that belief that you had, that concern that you had, that worry, that fear, it helped us when we were 5 years old and we were trying to hide from our parents who were looking to beat us. But we don't need that now. We don't need that level of protection now. So just go away. I'm fine. I'm good, right? Yep. And so it might seem crazy. What I'm about to say. It might seem crazy, but that's what you have to do. All that emotion wants is recognition.
Well, it could be crazy, but also at the same time, positive psychology is just as crazy because it's called psychological distancing when that shows up, right? Some people rename that, or they call it a gremlin, right? And you're absolutely correct. That gremlin showed up for a reason, and that's to keep 5-year-old Stevie G safe. And it took the wheel to keep you safe. But now... At most, it just needs to sit in the passenger seat and listen to the music, baby. Enjoy the ride.
Just enjoy your happy meal.
Yeah, I love the fact that you bring up that, just because of the fact that I might be making more money or have a different outlook on life or I'm not attached to my story, doesn't mean that little gremlin creeps up it doesn't creep up every now and then. It's still there because it's still embedded in my brain from a child.
Sure. Sure.
So I absolutely love that. So I know that you can take your story and you can kind of pivot to get everything you want out of life. So I know you talk to a lot of people about that. So what does that actually look like when you're carrying that out and you're doing the pivot?
Well, before you even pivot, you have to gain clarity. You have to decide, right? You have to determine, set a new objective of what you want that new pivoted life to look like, right? Yep. What's it look like on the other end? And this is where a lot of people get stuck. They come in and say, Steve, I'm just not happy. I'm not fulfilled. I'm not satisfied in my marriage, my work, my career, my body, my health, whatever. And go, well, what do you want it? I don't know. I just want to be happy. And to me, oh, Mark, don't get me started on happiness. Thomas Jefferson screwed up the whole world when he wrote in the Declaration of Independence that we have the right to live life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Meaning, you're not already happy, so you have to pursue it just like you pursue a butterfly out in the field.
Oh yeah,
you're never going to catch it.
He's the one who turned on the treadmill with us chasing it the rest of our lives,
exactly,
right?
Exactly, yeah. So
don't tell me not to. Don't tell you to, because I will tell you to talk about the pursuit of happiness in a second.
Exactly.
That's what the second show is going to be on.
That's another episode.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's another episode, brother.
Yeah. So gain clarity. You need to know in specific detail what you want that thing to look like. And my wife will tell you. By the way, I met my wife at that conference in 2008 when I realized that I didn't need to look for love externally. I had to have it within first. I met the girl
You
who
met
eventually
your wife at a Nagel conference.
and I had been alone 10 years, looking,
Amazing.
dating, looking in and out of bad relationships, etc., making lots of mistakes myself because I didn't know what I wanted.
Yep.
Right? But from that event, I learned to gain clarity. I wrote down, she needs to do this, not needs to in terms of you need to,
Yep.
in other words, my desired, right?
Yep,
My
yep.
desire. This is what I want my life to look like. This is what I want my wife to be and look like, and how engage with me and how I want to engage with her. This is the kind of career I want, this kind of house I want, this kind of body, all of these things. So whatever it is that the listener wants to change in their life, career, relationship, body, whatever it is, define it on paper, put it down, sit with a pen and say, 100 pounds, lean muscle, fitness, flexibility, yoga 3 times a week, lift weights 2 times, whatever it is, write it down. Because the minute you do that, you gain clarity. And the importance of clarity is that the next time some little gremlin, whether it's an internal gremlin or an external gremlin called your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend or BFF, whatever, says, hey, I got this thing going on this weekend, come on over. You look at your list and go, it's not what's on my list, sorry. And you can pass on it. But if you don't know what you want, you're going to go for it.
I absolutely
I
absolutely love that. I'm sorry to cut you off, Stevie G, but I think the technical term for that clarity is called implementation intent. And there was a story that was done on a team that finished last in rowing every single year, and they wanted to not finish last in rowing. And so what they went and said was, every decision that we make is about rowing the boat faster. They get invited to a party. Will it row the boat faster? They made a decision around that, right? There's this opportunity to get new uniforms, right? Let's go and try them on. Will it row the boat faster? So, I love the fact that that kind of clarity then goes and turns into implementation, and you can make easy decisions now. You're not spread thin, and it makes sense that you're like, well, I made these decisions early on in my life, but now I'm choosing not to do that because that's not in line with what it is that I have written down. It's nowhere close to it, what I have written down. So I absolutely love that. My friend, this is called flow because we're at the 53 mark. So I'm going to open it up to, I know that we wanted to do critical steps that to maximize the power of your story. But after clarity, where do we want to go? Let's say that someone watching this or on the replay, or someone forwards this to a friend who takes this and is empowered as a result of it. I've got it written down. I'm writing it down every day. This has become my new North Star. Now what, Stevie G?
Okay. I'm going to give you the 3 steps. Stevie G's 3 steps. Ready, set, go. Number 1, take full and complete responsibility. Whatever happened to you up until this moment in your life, you are fully responsible for. And you're going to go, wait, no, they did it to me. She did it to me. He did it to me. They're doing it to me now. You're allowing it, number 1. But here's the key. If you don't take responsibility, if I don't like the fact that this glass of water is where it is, and I have a choice. I can sit there and look at that glass of water and I can say, Who the F put that there? Who in their right mind?
Resent
right?
that glass, Stevie
Who
G.
in their right mind would have thought to put that glass right there next to my beautiful laptop? Who would have thought that? What crazy people. You just wait till I get my hands on them, right? That's one level of analysis. The other one is to look at it and do nothing. It bugs me. It bugs the crap out of me, but I don't even have words to say. But every day I come in and look at that glass, and it bugs me. The third level of analysis is to call somebody and say, honey, could you come over here and move this glass? Because it doesn't belong there, and whoever put it there shouldn't have put it there. They should have consulted with me first, and I don't like it. So could you please come move it? Okay. And then there's a fourth level of analysis, and that is like, I don't like that glass there. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to move it. Done. Do that with your health, your spouse, your friends, your school, your job, your money, whatever it is. If you don't take responsibility for it, that means you're allowing someone else to control whatever that is. And you're going to be waiting a long, long time for them to realize, hey, maybe I should move that glass out of Stevie's way, right? No, you move the glass, okay? Number one, take responsibility for all of your thoughts, all of your words, and all of your actions. TWA, thoughts, words, and actions, 100% responsibility. I have a thought. I'm angry. She makes me mad. No. You got mad at something she said. Mm-hmm. You're responsible for it, okay? Oh, F you. Okay, you made me curse it. No, they didn't make me curse at you, right? You chose to curse because that's your reaction to what they did.
Look at the words that you pulled out of my body, Stevie G.
Exactly. And I can do that.
Fuck you.
So responsibility is number one. Clarity, we already talked about. And then the third is take inspired action. Mark, there's 3 birds on the fence. 2 of them decide to fly away. How many birds are left?
I'm going to say 1, but this is a trick question.
It's a trick question. There's
None?
3 birds still on the fence.
Ah, son of a gun.
2 of them decided to fly away.
3 of them.
They didn't take the action to fly away, so they didn't fly away. So simply deciding, okay, I'm going to move. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym. Okay, I'm going to get fit. Okay, I'm going to... Oh, by the way, you notice I never say lose weight because there's a problem with I want to lose weight. We don't want to lose anything. We don't want to consider ourselves losers. And so when someone says, I can't lose weight, yeah, you're right. Get rid of that word. Say, I want to be fit.
Yep.
Right? I want to be lean. I want to be healthy. That'll get you to your goals.
And it's so true that words create worlds, right? You know, so putting the word lose in there. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay.
So after you decide, you got to take that action, the required action to fulfill that particular goal. I decide I'm going to drive from Dallas to Miami. What's the first thing I got to do? Make sure I have a car, right? Make sure I know where the keys are. Make sure the car is fueled. Make sure the car is capable of getting me to my destination safely and on time and those kinds of things. Then I get in the car and then I get my map and I start driving, right? And follow so all of these little steps, eventually I will get to Miami.
Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. My friend, you are coming back on the show if you choose to. The invite is there. I've had a blast. What we talked about pre-show, yeah, you made some guarantees, and my friend, swish, you called your shot and you made it, son. Stevie G, much appreciated. Now, this is going to be the fun part for those of you who stuck around. I'm going to replay this. I'm going to put this in a couple forums. Stevie G's got an awesome give for us, and I want you to show it. I want you to hold them up. There's some physical things that we've got for freebie time. Freebie time. So what's in what's in that?
These are amazing audio programs called Secrets to Living Remarkably. It is based upon the content of my best-selling book called How to Live Remarkably. But if you just want a simple, Steve, take me right to the essence of your message, what it is you're saying. I'm giving these away. They retail for $24.99, but we're going to give 2 of these away to Marc's listeners, and you're going to have to jump through whatever hoop Marc wants you to jump through in order to get these. Either answer a question, a trivia question, maybe something we said on the show, send in your goals and objectives for the rest of 2019, something. But Marc has to be inspired enough to select 2 of his listeners to get these. And so, Marc, I can either send these to you, or you can send me the address once you decide who your winners are, and I will send it to them with my compliments.
I think we'll figure out after the show the logistics, but here it is. Here's the secret word. The first thing is that there's 3 steps that Stevie G talked about, right? And so I want you to talk about how those 3 steps relate to your life, and I want you to sign off with the word move the glass. Move the glass. So if you tell me the 3 steps, how they apply to your life, and move the glass, the first 2 people to do that, either in forum or email me or PM me, will get the secrets to living remarkably. Stevie, thank you for that, man. Thank you for that. You are definitely a person that I want to go to karaoke with and eat an In-N-Out burger animal style. Actually, that's my clarity right now, is that Stevie G and Marc Cordon, the ambassadors, are going to eat a In-N-Out burger and do some karaoke together.
I love it. I love it. Yes. Anywhere in the world, let's do it.
I really want to see you sing What's New Pussycat. I really want to see you sing that while I eat a burger. That is that's the inspired action I need to take to make that happen. You got a TEDx talk coming out. There's still a couple seats left for that. June 13th in Arlington, Texas. TEDx Narratives in Arlington. Go and check that out. Stevie G, just click on the name. It's right there in the show notes. Keep in touch with them. And more importantly, I want to have you back. I'm very, very grateful for what you talked about today, because I feel like I've become a better person as a result. And that's always something to be grateful for.
Thank you, Marc. I'm so grateful for what you do for your audience and your millions of listeners around the world, because we need more people like you to get this information out. And I'm just so thankful that you are who you are, to know enough that the rest of the world needs to hear, not just from Marc, but from other people that have thoughts and ideas too, because we need to collaborate and get that information out.
We totally need to collaborate. Speaking of collaboration, I'm about to be your sound man, and let's go into a visioning activity if you'd so permit.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Stevie G, we've been going at this for an hour now in flow, and suddenly from your ceiling is descending a golden microphone. This golden microphone translates into every language all across the world. It has that kind of power to amplify. There are a lot of people who have a message that you need to tell them right now. And Stevie G, your golden mic is live now.
Perfection is not the absence of imperfection. It is the absence of judgment. I'll say that again. Perfection is not the absence of imperfection. It is the absence of judgment. Take that, put it in your heart, put it in your soul, put it in your mind, think about it, remove the judgments from your life, and you'll see that everything in your life truly is absolutely perfect.
Stevie G, I want you to take that golden mic. I want you to feel the weight in that, because I'm about to hand that golden mic to someone else tomorrow who has a message for the world. We're just going to keep passing it around. But you said some good stuff, so I want you to hold that golden mic. Hold it out. Hold it out. Now smash that golden mic, Stevie G, because you just dropped it. You dropped it like it's hot. Smash it, my friend.
No, I love it. I love it. I love this golden mic. I want to break it.
We've got a big budget on this show. We buy golden mics by the dozens.
Bam!
Step on it. Step on it. My friend, you are a... Oh my gosh, he's going crazy on an elbow drop it.
I'm even going to pour my water on it.
He's going to... Don't electrocute yourself with that golden mic. Stevie G,
Love it, love it.
you're a fantastic person to co-create with, and it's been a lot of fun. I can't wait to have you back. And so we're gonna shut off the golden mic for now. But Stevie G and I have a question for you. But first, if you like this episode, obviously it was meant for social media to be used for social good. Share it out. Send it to people who you think would resound with this message, or let it wash over people who might be resistant to the message. It's all about having fun and getting some of these points across. And you might watch this a month from now, and it might look very different with your life. So I'm going to keep this on preserve. But Stevie G and I have one final question for all of you, and it's this. If you're feeling good and you're living your life in full meaning, what is your responsibility to change history for the better? This has been Golden Mike 157, your boy Marc Cordon, your ambassador Stevie G. We are out. Take care.
Woohoo! Thank you.